Welcome, my dear viewer, to Dr. Paul Kibicho YouTube channel. I want to share with you a few things pertaining to the reasons why businesses fail. Why are our businesses failing? And I want first of all to make it clear that everybody who starts a business, he or she starts with a view of making that particular business grow, prosper, and even extend its boundaries or by having branches. But unfortunately, most of our businesses collapse. I have seen so many businesses that have collapsed over the years. It is not that businesses are bad, that is why they collapse. As a matter of fact, businesses collapse because of a number of reasons. Some of them I'll share with you today. And I'm going to share with you now. One of the reasons why businesses collapse is the fact that you have not been able to carry out a serious feasibility study to understand the business terrain and the expectations of the customers. Gone are the days when you wake up one morning and thought what was good for the customer. Before you think what is good for the customer, you need to undertake a very serious feasibility study that will inform you what it is that customers need. And therefore, you should be customer centric. Customer centric basically means that you are going to offer solutions to people based on the problems that are currently facing them. So if you wake up one morning and you use your own thinking and you think that you're going to offer a solution to a group of people that you have not been able to research on, you are actually headed south. And the other thing that makes people as well, before I go to the next point, is the way some people deploy their resources or finances. It is not prudent to go putting what we call a stock to a good or a service or a larger stock when you have not been able to identify what it is that those people out there require. So we talk about financing handles. You have either taken a loan, you have either used your resources, your own savings, but you have not been able to identify that particular product that is going to change the entire landscape of your business. So before you start distributing your resources or your money to a given product or a service, you need to appreciate that it is the demand of that particular product or service that is going to turn around your business fortunes. So the moment you wake up and you think that you are bright and you are wise, you go putting your money to a product or a service that has not been tested by the consumer or the end user, you are in for a big shock. The next thing is what we call inadequate management. Most of us, especially Kenyans, what we do is that we normally look for the cheap labor. I'm not saying that it is not good to consider that factor, but remember, we normally say cheap is expensive. So, alternatively, depending on what we call the traffic of the customers who come to your business premises, it is important to be informed, therefore, by that situation. How many people do you require within that particular business establishment? You don't just wake up one morning and say that you require 2 people to serve in a given venture. What determines the human capital is the kind of a service or a product that you are offering, the frequency of the customers, and what we call top-notch customer service. So inadequate management is another aspect that has made many businesses to collapse. What about ineffective business planning? Some of us people, we think that our businesses are going to go autopilot. No, 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 it does not happen like that. Businesses don't operate on autopilot. Autopilot basically means that you want the business to run on its own. No, you require to plan your business in such a way that it perpetuates itself even beyond the person who came with that particular idea. So ineffective business planning basically means that you are actually learning a business that has no plan at all, and therefore you are ladderless. You do not even know where this business is gonna take you. So it is important to have a business plan. A business plan is so important because it creates what we call an infrastructure that you rely on to take your business to the next level. Then the other thing is what we call marketing mishaps. I have been telling people that anytime you produce goods and services that are not known to the customers, that is not a business. That is what we call a warehouse. So all products and services require to be marketed. In this era of what we call social media, any product that you are producing today must be known by people that this particular product is there. They have to know the existence of your product or your service. Otherwise, if you assume that customers gonna know, if you assume that what we call word of mouth marketing will help you, you may take longer before your business do what we call break even. Before your business break even. So it is therefore important to ensure that your business is properly marketed and you are using the right channels to market. There are so many avenues of marketing your business in 21st century. Number one, you may use social media. Instead of actually coming to TikTok to dance, to show us your prowess in terms of dancing, instead of showing us the new shoe that you bought, the new pair of shoe that you bought, instead of showing us the new suit that you bought, instead of showing us your house that you built, which actually would not require to confirm or to confirm that the house is beautiful because you did it yourself, I would suggest that you use that particular, unless you're selling that particular home, use the social media to give you business. Well, another thing that you must always remember is that you can either use TikTok, you can use what we call Instagram, you can use YouTube, you can use what we call Facebook. There are so many platforms that you can use that brings or that makes people understand what it is that you're doing, and that gives your business what we call a platform to be known, and therefore you generate what we call income. The other thing is what we call poor cash flow management. Many business people have never known that the amount of money that you make in your business, some of that particular money that you make goes back to buying the goods and services that you make. So do not think that all the money that you have in your cash tray belongs to you. It is not yours. You need to appreciate how much did it cost you to learn to buy this particular product. How much did it cost you to buy this, to procure this particular phone? So assuming that you bought it at 10,000 shillings, which includes the transport and what have you, then how do you pay the rent? How do you pay the salaries to your staff members? How do you pay the overhead costs? So it is therefore incumbent upon you to identify what is your buying price, so that that buying price can inform you what will be the selling price, so that whatever remains, buying price minus selling price, gives you what we call the profit margin. So profit margin, then you'll go further. Profit margin is, the entire profit is not yours, by the way. We have to come to what we call the net margin. Profit margin, basically, the gross profit margin basically means what is the overall profit that you have made. But remember, in that particular overall profit, you have other financial obligations that you need to meet as a business person. So it is critical, it is key that you need to appreciate that your cash flow is always there. By ensuring that you have what we call that particular cash flow, it therefore means that you'll be able to identify and to know or to maintain what we call the economic order quantity, EOQ. Economic order quantity means what informs you to buy a certain product or a service at a given period of time. And that at the same time, cash flow helps you to understand what will be the reorder. At what point do you do reordering? What point do you do reordering? Because we have what we call the lead times. Lead times means between actually, let me say, ordering that particular product. How long will it take to be in your store? And therefore, you require therefore to be very much prepared in terms of your cash flow, so that at any one time you do not suffer from what we call inadequacy of cash flow that may lead to what you call your business getting hampered. What about the other thing is that having is what we refer to as losing control of finances. How do you lose control of finances? Many companies in 21st century are actually spending a lot of money, colossal amounts of money in investing in what we call technology, because technology is key. And that is why you see in many supermarkets, they have what we call the barcode recorders. What do those barcode recorders help? Number one, they curtail the shoplifters. Nobody can just enter into your facility, and of course, they work with your merchandise. The other thing is to ensure that you actually keep an eye on all the money, all the cash flows that comes into your business. And again, not just that should not only be the issue for you to look at. You should also know at which is this product that brought 100,000, which is this product that brought 15,000 shillings, because that will still inform you what you require to reorder at any given time. What about lack of strategy? Some people just wake up one morning and they think that they are going to succeed in business. Every business requires a strategy. And allow me to explain to you what a strategy basically means. A strategy is that unique, well calculated idea of ensuring that your business remains afloat even in a competitive environment by doing things differently. You may be selling the same products to your customers, but one of the things that's going to make customers to keep coming to you is what we call having customer delight. What is customer delight? What is that unique, exquisite customer care? It is making sure that any customer who comes to you, the experience will be memorable. And making that particular experience memorable, therefore, means the customers will keep flocking into your shop because you treated them differently from other organizations. And that is where you see, even in Kenya today, we have got so many banks, yes, but not all those banks have got many customers. Yet they are doing the same thing. They are commercial banks. It purely lies on what we call customer service and the like, or customer experience for that matter. So every business requires what we call a strategy. The other thing is that over dependence on few customers. Don't be so happy when you realize that you have only 15 customers coming your way. Those 15 customers may not sustain your business. It is good to cast your net wide. It is good to have many customers who flock into your shop, because by having many, you are not at any risk of closing your business in the near future. So make sure that you reach to as many customers as you can. And how do you reach to many customers? You need to study what we call the demographics. Demographic means what is the consumer preference, what is the age bracket, what is the preference of the customers, and at the same time, who are the majority in your business, so that you may be able to extend, or rather to understand that the consumer behavior is different to different age sets. Therefore, make sure that you segment your clientele in such a way that at any given time, so those high-priced commodities or goods and services, they have their own customers. Those others who cannot afford those high-end products, they still can be served at your facility, at your enterprise. And even those who are lowly paid also, who do not have a lot of income, they too can still have something to get from your shop. By so doing, you're cutting across the entire demographics, so that your business cannot be starved of what we call cash flows in the event those few customers are turned their face away from you. The other thing is that, and many people don't, I don't know what happens. You must remember, always remember, that those customers that you see, you have got no control over your customers. Therefore, understand your competitors. It is very, very important. Unless you are so ignorant, unless you have got no business idea, unless you are belonging to a place that is not yours, you need to appreciate what other competitors are doing in the same space. By understanding what other people are doing in the same space, you'll be able now once again to come to craft better strategies, so that you may remain competitive. Otherwise, if you ignore your competitors, sooner than later you'll find yourself closing your business. Now, the 10th point, so that I may bring this show to a close, is that poor customer service. The moment you give customers poor service, let me tell you, this has killed many businesses. There is no single business globally that was able to remain afloat by mistreating its customers. I have heard of a school, I will not mention the name of this school. It is quite unfortunate. It does not matter the rules that you have in your school, your college, or your institution. You must respect the parents at any given time. You must respect the guardians. You have got no authority, you have no moral authority whatsoever. There is no justification whatsoever to go insulting parents. Even if they bring their child late to your institution, you have got no right whatsoever to insult the guardians or to insult the parents, unless something is terribly wrong with you. Because these are the parents who pay school fees to bring their children to your facility. So how can you afford to insult parents honestly? How can you afford to insult parents who have brought children to your facility? Are you saying that you are that ignorant that you do not know that the word of mouth marketing, this, in 21st century, if you had one customer, you had a million customers. So I do not know of any justification whatsoever where the owner of an institution should insult parents. There is no justification. And again, you do not become a good manager, you do not become a good proprietor by insulting parents. Okay, you may have that attitude to insult maybe the students, but not the parents. So I urge you, people who have got institutions, please desist from insulting parents. I have received a few complaints from some parents where they have been insulted badly by the owners of institutions. How do you go insulting the customers? The parents are your customers. Yes, their sons and daughters are your customers, but you cannot treat parents and your students the same way. You should have the language for the students, and you should have a language which is full of tandem and decorum when you're talking to the parents. Otherwise, it is quite unfortunate that you can go, even sometimes insulting bishops and pastors. It's not right. We are professionals, and a professional must maintain professionalism at all times. So poor customer service can bring down your business. And there is no big business in the universe that can't be brought down by what we call opposition. If people called customers refused to use or patronize your products. So with those few remarks, I'll be coming back shortly to talk about Olin Sacco. Thank you very much for listening to my small discussion. Should you have a company and you require our services, I happen to be the CEO of Panorama Consulting Company Limited, where we offer several types of services. We can come to your company, we train your staff members on what we call customer delight and experience, winning workplace habits, efficiency and effectiveness at workplace. We can train you people on what we call change and change management. We can train you on what we call office politics. We can train you on personal financial wellness and wealth creation. And of course, what we call the financial hygiene and discipline. We can train your staff members on what we call organizational dynamics. We do that among others. We also do what we call motivation sessions. We also do what we call team building and building thematic. We also do what we call team building and building thematic building exercises, meaning that we come and we get to listen to your problem. We come up with what we call exercises that addresses those unique problems that your company has so that your company can become better. It is always my pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much for listening to me. Thank you very much, Mr. Charles Mushemi, washing me from Githurai. Of course, not washing me, but washing me from Githurai. And my number is 0722 633 021. Should you be interested to know more about us, call us on 0722 633 021. I'll be coming shortly to talk about Osakos and more so Olin Sacco, the Sacco of choice. May God bless you. Always a pleasure talking to you. Shalom, shalom, shalom.